Black Girl Podcast. What number is this?
25.
25. Oh, that's big.
God.
25 was a big year for people.
Golden.
Yes, it was a big year. Hey, I'm Scotty Beam.
Safira M. Hey, everyone.
I'm Bex.
I'm Gia Peppers.
And I'm Alicia P.
Yo, we sound mad tired. Is everyone
No,
awake?
I'm not. I had my green juice. I'm feeling good.
I got my Starbucks trying tea
I
latte.
know. I'm feeling good. All right, so what are we going to start first? First, we have to thank everybody that came out to the party.
Wow.
I think
It's
that's the
been a
first
while.
thing.
Amazing.
It's been a while.
It's been a month. Today's the 21st.
We are sorry. Let me
It's
just open
been
this
30
up.
days since we seen
I
y'all.
apologize.
It's our last confession.
But come on, yeah, it was also holidays, Christmas and then New Year's and
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. Yes. It was a lot
that
going
is a
on.
TV laugh. If I ever did hear one,
It was real, though.
that's a very okay.
I'm old. I'm like that. I'm not.
I
That's
know that's
real life.
it's your
It was-
profession.
The party was amazing, though.
Yeah,
I think everybody that I ever wanted to see to come support me came, plus the supporters themselves. I was super happy that day. I was very happy that day.
And thank you.
Extremely happy.
Thank you to Duce for sponsoring us. That was super dope of you guys.
Yeah.
The Duce was in heavy rotation. Which you guys saw from some of our pictures. If you're not following us on Facebook, go follow the Black Girl Podcast. And you can see all the pictures from the party.
Yes, you can.
I can't believe that that many people showed up. Like at
Me
one point, I was
too.
like, "Okay, are you guys lost?" Because there's so many people here, and it's just
No, it was a
us.
lot. It was definitely a lot.
But it was so dope to that Black Girl magic was palpable. Like you could it was just too good. Like walking around and just seeing everybody who was like, "Hey, are you so and so? I love you." Like what?
I know. And everybody had a good time. Every
Right.
single
Facts,
person
right.
The men did
tweeted. The guys tweet. The girls were
Facts
like,
always
there was
got the
some
men.
sexy men in there, and
There
the
were
guys
some
were saying the
good-looking
same
men
thing.
in there.
There were some
With
good
the
looking
lights
men.
off.
With the lights.
With the lights off.
For one exception,
Just the one.
he duped us all, guys.
Yeah, I know. He got us
Got us
good.
all.
Boy.
Yo, you know who you are. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you,
my
Shout
guy.
out to you, Hat.
Oh,
What? He wasn't the only one with a
wasn't
hat.
You right.
Now you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I the one?
Am I the one?
Am I the one with the hat?
That's like
Is it me?
Cinderella.
They were trying to do a podcast about you, my G. Good luck, yo. You made it out here.
Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't make the
That's
cut,
so
bro.
funny.
You ain't make the cut.
I had an amazing. What was your favorite part, Scotty Beam?
My favorite part, just basically dancing. I think that was
Shaking
it.
that ass.
And also, I think chasing Safira around with the mic.
That
I
was
think that
great.
was one of my
Oh
highlights.
yeah, we lost the favorite towards
Safira was
The
screaming
1
on
o'clock
the
hour.
mic,
You
talking
meant to
shit.
repost this.
Yeah,
when
we
the episodes
lost
go
her at
live.
that point.
It was
for sure.
insane to me.
I think my favorite part for sure was Ebro and Rosenberg speaking on the mic. Ebro's
lovely.
Ebro's speech, Rosenberg's speech was really touching. Really, 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 really made me feel like, dag, we are full circle. We made it 365, and it was literally just an idea thought.
360.
And now we have a room full of people who just really fuck with us. Like at the end of the day, they fuck with us.
Yes.
So that was dope. That was my favorite part. Peppers, what was your favorite
I
part?
think Ebro's speech, seeing my friends for sure, like my girls who I've known before the podcast started, and their support means a lot always.
Yeah.
I think just Beyonce songs, and then Cranes in the Sky at the end.
Oh yeah, that was a
We
moment.
really
Oh
thought
my gosh.
we were
I remember that moment so because I was drunk at that point.
it's recorded, don't worry. When Duce hits and black girls are in the same circle and then Solange comes on, you really feel like
Yes,
you were
just
in the video.
Yes.
So we had our own Solange video, so shout out to Solange.
Yes.
Also shout out to Max October, DJ Enough.
Oh
Yeah.
Earns
Yes.
coming through in a clutch.
Because
DJ Earns.
The music was
It was very
Lit.
good.
It was very nice.
Very on point.
yeah. So thank you to
Through and
her,
through.
all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca, what about you? Your fave?
Was that I didn't have to plan it anymore.
Yeah.
That was done. I could finally not think about anything
Real
about the details prior to the party and just okay, it's over. It's over.
You had
And
mad cute
Ebro
pics.
and Peter's speeches were really nice too. Like it didn't sound like they just said something just for sake of having the mic in their hands. They really said some shit that was like, it's facts.
Agreed.
Facts.
What's that? Facts.
What about you, Saf?
almost falling off of the couch. Deani legit has
Oh my god.
a video of me sliding.
Oh my
off of
god.
that
I
couch.
forgot about
We
that.
have to post
That's
all these
probably
videos.
my favorite part.
That was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Do you
I was like,
understand?
whoa, no, it was really fun just to see everyone come. I'm sorry.
Saphira is also a great host, y'all. If y'all miss
Yes.
Saphira's hosting moment, that was incredible.
Oh
It was
Jesus,
so
please.
good. It was so fun to see everyone come out and support us. And we hope to have many, many more events like that so that we can all get down with the get down.
Soon come.
Yes. So what's everybody been
I've
up to?
seen you guys
I know.
in like 35 episodes.
Damn,
one.
that's crazy.
Just one
This is
episode.
25.
That was before.
No, because I didn't record
Negative.
with you guys the last time.
Negative 10. Negative 10.
It was just a thought.
Negative
Yeah,
10 episodes
exactly.
in.
So my point got across well. No, I didn't record with you guys last time. I was
Right.
really sad about that. Y'all know I have FOMO. Bad FOMO.
You do have FOMO.
Really bad. I was hurt.
Oh, FOMO.
Took me a while to listen to the
FOMO,
episode.
Alicia.
FOMO leash.
Well, that's because I shot Yvonne orgy.
What a way
man.
to segue into what
I had
you've
no,
been
because
up
I really
to.
need to talk about full circle moments. Like
Come on, sis. Go ahead. Do
that
it.
was literally a testimony of just being patient and just waiting for the right moment. When you think that the moment that you're supposed to have, because it's the one you're looking for, sometimes it's not the one that's for you. And that was really literally a full circle moment. Shooting her at the Barclays Center for her opening for Chris Rock, I think that would have been better than winning the Insecure on Set contest. So that's just literally full circle for me. And she was super sweet. I got to shoot her. I like rented equipment. I went all out for this. Like the most
As
I
you
think
should
I've ever
have.
done. I was so scared. I don't think I've been that scared in a very long time to shoot somebody. But I shot it. She was really nice about it. She loved the video. I think I shot Saturday, delivered the video Sunday. Monday, she texted me like, we're canceling our videographer for a dinner that I'm doing. She was like, I really want you to come and shoot for me and shoot this dinner. And that's why I couldn't come, because it happened so last minute that day.
Which was way more. I mean, not important.
No,
but,
because
like, that's a big
That's a
career.
big
we had just come off a
journey.
really big episode too. That was the episode me and Deani were going back and forth on the conversation about the hey smile for me conversation. So I really wanted to come back and talk, like dive back into that conversation. But I was like, damn, I have to go shoot her again. She's literally texting me asking me to shoot, and she canceled the other person. And at that dinner, she went around the whole table. I hope I'm not giving too much information, but I really had to share this. She ran around the whole table and just kind of introduced everybody that was there. And it was super important people, like the editor-in-chief of like Teen Vogue.
Lane Welteroth.
Yeah, just so many important people there. And I'm shooting, and then she goes, and Alicia. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like looking that maybe she's talking about the chef. And she goes, and this is Alicia. Alicia was the videographer. So when she said that, my heart, like my hand started to shake with the camera. And she was like, Alicia is a videographer who I met at Hot 97. And Nessa and all of them had me watch her video. And her video was amazing for the Insecure on Set. And she was like, I needed somebody to do video for Chris Rock. Yeah. For my opening of Chris Rock, and I immediately thought of Carl, who was the photographer that day at Hot 97, Carl Ferguson, and he put her onto the shoot, and I thank Carl for that. And she was like, as soon as I saw her production value on the video that she did for the Insecure on Set, I was like, she has to do my video. And then she was like, the video that you guys saw on my Instagram, Alicia did that, and the entire room was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that opening scene with the escalator. Awesome. And I was shaking because I didn't think, like, okay, people watched it, but I didn't think it was going to be that important that people actually really paid attention to, like,
that was a really
the opening.
dope
Like,
video.
I really put a lot into that. So when she said that and she acknowledged me, I was like, this is your character. When you acknowledge, quote unquote, the help or the person in the room that's just there to capture the moment, that shows true character. And for me, that was just super, like, full circle moment. I don't know if I would have ever been able to have that with her if I did that in Cali shooting for Insecure. So for me, her just saying that and just being super grateful that I was even there and believing in me and tagging me in the picture, because she didn't have to do that either. And like following me and putting me on to other clients and stuff like that. She doesn't know me any of that. And for her to do that, I just thought was super full circle. I went home with a full heart that day.
And
even
a
though I
big
like
smile,
left
I
equipment.
bet.
I did.
Smile still there. You see it?
I did. I mean, I just tried to remind myself.
Shit.
Well, yay, Lee.
But
That's
that
awesome.
was amazing. So
That's
shout out
super
to her.
You deserve.
Oh
sis.
no.
No, really. We all watched it. We
Super
all are very
dope.
proud, and we said that when you wasn't here.
Y'all
And
did.
we've
Shout out to
known-
Thank me.
I mean, we've
thank
known
you.
that this gleaming star that you have
Come on.
has
Star.
been coming for a long time. Yes, there's a light
Thank
above
you.
your head.
Literally
that
though.
one.
But a literal light
Regular
above
one.
my head.
I'm so tired. I just want to let the audience know if I say anything ridiculous during this episode,
Wake up, ma.
blame it on
But
the
nah, I
tiredness.
just wanted to mention that.
That's dope.
And
That's
yeah,
dope.
That's
and
beautiful.
that was a pivotal moment in my fourth quarter.
And cheers for many more to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hear ye,
Yes.
hear ye.
And
Yes.
cheers. And
Clink,
cheers.
clink, clink.
Gia, what you been up
Gang,
to?
gang, gang.
What you been up to?
I've been
Well,
Gang, gang, gang.
gang, gang. I've been hosting a lot of Wizards games. We've been playing so many games. So that's been cool. I really love, working in the NBA. It's like one of my favorite things. So they're doing their thing. We're gonna get that record together. But no, shout out to my guys though. And I love the Wizards. I've been doing a lot of taking time to like just come back to me. I've been allowing myself to feel things and really like process things. And what else have I been doing? I've been just existing, like being, like just not really trying to be something. For once, just being myself. Like, not that I'm not like always myself, but like there's always a certain level of like excellence that I think I've been held to since I was a kid. Like there's no like that's a very ingrained part of me, and I think for me these last few months have, if anything, have taught me like even when you think that you're in control of things, it's not really up to you. So yeah, I've been learning, praying, searching, working, hosted my first Jumpman 23 event.
yeah,
That looked amazing. That looked amazing.
Thank you.
Nice
sis.
fit too.
Yes, the
That fit was
Boutique. Not
Yes,
not
yes.
that's not in there, but necessary
necessary and
boutique.
mystique
They be
coming
getting
through.
you right, sis. Like I went to the thing and like, so I had like leggings, like Nike leggings and like a Nike shirt. They were like, just wear what you want. And so I came more Nike fitness than like Nike streetwear. So they were like, you have an hour, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna look crazy in here. So I literally pulled like all this stuff that went with the shoes they gave me, and basically Jordan is putting out their first women's collection only. Like it's not just like a drop or like a remix or something. It's like their first women's collection. So they did a press preview in New York. It was like the InStyle editor Kalana Barfield, who I'm obsessed with. A lot of the main editors from like Women's Wear Daily, like all those big like super like high like posh things. And then I interviewed basically it was a panel. I interviewed the creators of the Jordan brand shoe, the directors of Jordan,
That's
the
big.
GM of Jordan, Maya Moore, who's a 4-time WNBA champion,
Yes,
and then
Maya.
Alayli May, who is an incredible like just one of those talented influencer model types, but she also dropped her own Jordan like, brand collection. So it was a really dope event. It was cool that they put out their women's collection, and we'll see. It comes out in March. I've been wearing my shoes all the time, and
They're cute.
they're mad funny because there was a joke last night. But
And this hair is popping too. Popping.
Yes.
shout out to Indique, bro. Like first of all, sis, I needed bundles. Okay, so my sister Fiora, they have reached out to her. So she was like, I was like, I need bundles like
Now.
today. And so I went to the Soho store, and Joyce took care of me, and Gabby, who's one of the owners of the boutique for Indique, which is in Soho, which is really dope. They gave me bundles literally that day. Like, and that woman ended up being like one of my Ween mentors back in the day, one of my Ween professors who they come in and teach you. And she was like, it's me. And I'm like, oh, I didn't want to assume it was the same Gabby just in case, like,
It wasn't the
you know what I'm saying?
same
There's more
Gabby.
than one black Gabby in the world. So it was dope. And then
There's many black Gabbies.
many black Gabbies, okay?
Oh.
And then this girl, Dawn, who works at the G-Star Salon in Brooklyn, made me a little weird.
It's cute.
So we here. Thank you, Indique.
It's
Everybody
nice.
shop Indique.
It looks so good.
It's
I love
nice.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
That title is. Oh, I hate that title.
Okay,
Because it puts expectations on me. I'm just like, I don't really know shit. I just be
Guru
trying.
nigga, just gurify.
I'm trying to figure it out. It's flattering though.
I'm like, I don't really like this title, but
It's flattering.
You guys
It's just like, don't call me queen. It's flattering.
Don't call me a queen, but I mean, I am one.
I was like Queen Elizabeth.
It's a really weird
Over that
position to
title.
be in because I see both sides.
You know what I'm saying? I am a pessimist about this.
I am the
However,
queen.
I see both
carry me
sides.
and feed me grapes.
You can bring me
No,
tea, but
come
don't
see.
call
That's
me.
why I don't like being. 'Cause I'm
All right,
like-
how you been?
Y'all will keep going with this shit. It's my fault.
You know
now.
we have to run with it.
I gave y'all time. I've been I've been slowing down. I just found myself getting really upset, really often, and really deeply upset. And I was just like, you need to chill out. You need to fall back and bit by bit reintroduce yourself to some of these circumstances that have been making you feel a certain way. So I've just been slowing down. I've also been and this is kind of, I don't know if it's crazy to say, but I've also been loving myself. And I don't know if I never did before in the past or if I wasn't doing it right, but it's been like, obviously it's something to Saphira.
No, I'm not
I don't know
laughing
what-
at that. I wasn't laughing at you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You've been loving yourself.
I've been loving myself. And it's been something that I started at the top of the year. I committed 2018 to be a year of intent. So I'm not just doing things, just letting life happen and passing me by, but I'm really like involving myself and making sure what I commit to, I'm also present with. So I've been like doing that type of massaging with myself and then just like loving myself and refiguring out what that means for me today and moving forward.
I love that.
So yeah.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look like you loving yourself, honey.
wearing this
Hair
blonde
good, skin good, brows lovely,
waves
Yeah.
spinning.
Okay.
The country came all the way out, and you look good.
You do.
Well, you know, everybody. I feel like everybody feels very light in this room right now. Like we feel like to me, like you know how we can come in heavy sometimes. Like
Yeah.
everyone feels a little lighter, a little bit.
Light as a dove.
Saphira,
What you been up to?
please, what have you been doing?
Right.
Yes.
Please.
Wow,
tell
that's
us.
so crazy. Like, I
Right.
don't do anything.
You do a lot.
What have you been doing, bitch?
Following you.
I've just been working, really. That's pretty much it. Been working.
You working
hard.
a lot. Tell us about your Sassbox 2-year.
Oh, yes, Sassbox turned 2 on January 20th. I'm having a pop-up, so everyone is invited on January 28th. It's going to be pretty dope, pretty nice. Some curated content will be in the building. A couple of brands are also participating. It's going to be nice. I'm excited for the rest of the year as far as Sassbox goes. It took a back seat for the last couple of months of 2017. And at first I was discouraged about it. But then, you know, you go through things. It's just like everything's a learning lesson. Everything, you learn from things. But other than that, I'm working. I don't have any news to share like that. Just work,
Same.
which is a good thing. So, Deanie, what you been doing?
I've been chilling. I literally been chilling. I host here and there, you know what I'm saying, do things that I like to do.
You mean on your radio show that comes on every day from 12 to 4?
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
okay.
Every day.
There.
Do that, creating, trying to, you know, do stuff for myself as far as like content is concerned so I can have my own brand of content.
You've been doing really good at that, by the way. I've been meaning to tell you. You've been doing really good at keeping content on your page.
Yeah. So like Sundays at Scotty's is a playlist that I've been trying to release every Sunday that I really like a lot. I didn't do that today because things had happened today where I just couldn't get to a computer. But I will have it ready for next week. Yeah, so I've been trying to do that, put that together, do more things with my name in the title. And that's it. I had something else to share. I just forgot. I cut my hair. I did that. I took my hair out and cut it the fuck off.
It's cute.
Yes.
It youths you. Youths.
Makes her look younger.
Yeah, I think so. I think it does. It's
Yeah.
You yeah.
yeah.
You yeah good. No, don't
And
do
it
that.
does.
No? Okay.
It wasn't a thing,
No.
but we'll try
Nope.
again later.
Yeah, my accent is terrible.
Yes, it was horrible.
And now I'm
Anthony
laughing
told me
at
to
you.
shut
I'm definitely
Before
I wasn't. Before I wasn't, but now
for
definitely
Definitely
am.
for sure.
laughing. So yeah, I had to cut it off. I cut it off. I asked her to cut off everything that was damaged, and she was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Cut it off, everything."
Bye.
It looks so
Do
good.
it.
It does.
You about to be one of them
Thank
curly
you.
girl bloggers and get them checks too?
So yeah, I got my first little
demo.
check.
Yes,
New
But I'll
demo.
share it with you guys later when I get this stuff, when I get the product and I get the check,
Come on, sis.
and then I'll do that. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. You know, sometimes I get tired already of like combing and shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot.
I know.
Curls
So
on fleek.
I found this way of just putting this shit on my head, like head wraps, and just dealing with it tomorrow. Because I don't think I could do that every day. I don't think I could do this every day. I don't know how like my girl
it's
like
maintenance.
gorgeous. Like
Hey, gorgeous. Shoot.
I don't know how they do that.
That's, yo,
I
natural
don't know
hair
how it
is
happens.
more maintenance than
Well,
anybody's perm
listen, and I can't put
ever.
it in a bun. You know what I'm saying? It's too short.
Is
So,
it?
yeah, it's too short to be in a
You
bun.
know, just take
Just
it all
cut it.
off.
That,
Like-
see, but I thought I was gonna pull a Rebecca. That's what I thought I was.
snap.
Gonna
I think you
do.
need more time to think about it.
She
As much as
told
you don't
me-
like
she
taking
was
care of your hair, you like
put
your
a-
hair.
She was like, put a
A
wig
short
on
wig?
for yes, and she was like, then see where you want to stand. She's like, because I see. She said she has people that does it like off of some like I'm free as a bird kind of shit, and then like she had to over her eyes, and then people are like, fuck,
Hate
this
it.
is- I hate it. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then go get
I
a
guess
wig.
like with time. So I'll let this happen. I want it to grow out healthy, and if it doesn't grow out healthy, I'm gonna cut it again.
You put those faux locks
But
in.
I'm not doing no more faux locks
You
because
look nice on
What?
you.
it was
though.
dope. It was amazing. I had a great time. It was amazing.
It was
But
nice.
that's it.
It was
But
nice.
you
It
also
was like a
kept
day-
them in really
It was
long.
great.
That's
I'm
my
assuming
problem.
the issue
That's
was
the
taking
issue
them out.
was not the hair. The hair was fine. It
Your
was the
actual
root
hair.
Yeah.
that was stuck together. It was stuck.
It was
locking
dreading.
up.
Yeah, so I had to literally like comb through that, and so when I told everybody on Instagram, like I cut that shit, I did because when I got to the
No.
point of the bottom where you had to continue
You
to,
just cut it off.
I was like cut, and my
You
hair
didn't go
was
back to the
here.
girl?
Huh?
You didn't go
To
back to
take
the
it
girl
out.
to take it out for you? She wouldn't take it
She
out
took
for you?
out everything, but she was combing my hair too heavy. Where I don't like that. I like you to be gentle. I need time.
You
I'll take a
tender.
day off and do it. Like I can't.
I'm telling you.
This is without conditioner. This is
I
without
did everything.
anything.
Conditioner, coconut oil, everything. I had it sit for 3 hours. Took the thing off. 1 a.m. I'll go like doing everything. By 5 a.m. it was like at the tips, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. Not doing it. So I just cut it, and it was like all like this.
Oh my god.
I put it in a
Yeah,
bun.
that's
It was,
even-
guys, I made like it was uneven. So then I put it in a bun, and I was like, somebody's gonna have to do it. So I went on Instagram and was like, can anybody do my hair? And I found a really great woman. Her name is Reese. She's from the Bronx. She's
DX heavy.
yeah, she's a hairstylist at Broome Street. It's really, really fire flames for going there. It's great.
It's in Soho?
Yes, it's
Yes.
beautiful. She's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah. You get what you pay for. Like, if I like quality.
Right.
I think it's also okay to really treat yourself as well. I talk
And they
about
give me
that all the
coffee
time.
and anything that I want.
Yeah, that's
So
okay.
it's really-
Treat yourself to that.
Treat
Yeah.
yourself, sis.
And they can really wash hair. Like you know how some of the washers be having
just
like
be
your
like,
face whole
fine.
wet, right? Or your face be wet and shit like that. And I be like, dog, like my
hair
shit
is right here.
Right
my shit
here.
start right at the tip. Like you don't have to do all that.
Yeah, I don't-
But yeah, so other than that, I think good. I don't know where I am mentally, but I know I'm just cool. I'm
We in
cool right
2018. How did you guys bring in your new year?
home
I
with
was
my mama.
Really?
In
Me too.
Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
This was the first year in a couple of years that I spent like the ball dropping with my mom.
Mommy.
Yeah. Something told me to stay home that day. So I stayed home till midnight.
I wasn't doing it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think the whole going out thing, once you get to a certain age, it's like
Why?
right.
Why?
You know what it's gonna be.
Right.
You know it's gonna turn a new year.
I never actually partied New Year's
Take
Eve
your ass
either.
to sleep and just keep it
You
going.
never partied?
Like really party,
No.
like
No, me
club, bring it
neither.
in,
You know
like
why?
nothing.
Because
I've never done that.
go out.
oh,
I'm just playing.
Oh, sorry.
go
I
ahead.
mean, it's weird. So I had to host a game. We had a 2:00 game. I left at like
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
third
right.
quarter, got on a flight to Boston, and then made it to Boston by 9:00. into my friend's party. My friend was having a huge house party. Her husband plays for the Patriots, and she did my birthday dinner that year. Chris Fed Events, the little birthday dinner I had.
Oh, yeah.
And so she threw this huge house party, turned her basement into like a club, and like all the guys were there. We just having mad fun. I saw friends I haven't seen in years. And our friend who got killed when we were coming out of college, she grew up in Boston. Wow. So like the whole time we were just thinking like, life is short. Like you really don't know. Like she should be here. Like we're only 28.
Wow.
So it was like a very interesting, like it was a cool like party. Like it's so different too because she's 28 and has 2 kids in a house and like a mortgage and like a husband to take care. And I'm like, so I'm texting this guy. Like, it's like the lifestyles are so different. Like I'm like Auntie G, like the babies are so fun and cute, and I'm just like, these are your kids. Like you can't return them.
Whole
like,
ass humans.
Humans. They're like, can we play football? And I'm like,
yeah, man.
I'm gonna leave though in 2 days. You know, like I can't.
I won't be here though, so you guys can play, but I won't be here.
But she's like doing it and has a business too. Like she's coming to Tribeca to do babies. Like she's out here. Like my friend Christine's crazy, an amazing person. But I shout out to all the moms out there, yo.
Couldn't do it.
I was just babysitting.
Man, listen. I forgot my party. I forgot to mention that. I had my party on the 30th, which I think I want to continue to do. So you were talking about life is short, and that was pretty much what my party was acknowledging, that life is short and that we need to really understand that regardless of what we went through 2017, because a lot of people are like, fuck 2017. I feel like it's always fuck 2016, 15. It's always going to be a fuck something.
It's going to be the year that's leaving.
Yes, I feel like it's always going to be like
For
that.
real.
No, so I think I want to be, this event was to literally just remind us that, yeah, we might have gone through some bullshit in 2017, but let's not go into 2018 with that thought. Let's have a positive mindset and just be happy that we wake up in the morning. I know it sounds corny, cheesy, and whatever, but literally, we are super, super, super blessed that we could wake up in the morning. There were people this year that literally didn't wake up from their sleep, like young. I had a friend of mine who, and she told me I could share her story. I was going through her timeline, and she was like, her post was slow down, and when I read her caption. She was like, I'm gonna be transparent here. I think she was 32 at the time that this happened. She was working so hard, 3 jobs, and long story short, she wasn't feeling well at work one day, and she had a stroke at 32 years old, a mild stroke. And if she didn't get to the hospital fast enough, she would have had a heart attack at 32, because she was overworked, stressed with all of the things that she sees around her that she feels like she needs to achieve. And that took me aback for a second. Like, we have to really slow down and realize, hey, pace yourself. It's okay if we're not really where we want to be. It's going to come on the time that it needs to come, like in the time that it needs to come. I saw a lot of my friends just going through hurt. And I just was like, we need to celebrate literally living life. And I'm so happy I did that. A complete stranger came to me at the party, and she grabbed me. She was like, I just want to thank you so much for having this party, because I really, really needed it. Like, she looked me in the eyes and said that. And I was like, that's all I wanted. One person to come to me and just say they needed this. And I've ever since that party on the 30th, I had it on the 30th.
It was really good.
Deani was there. The crowd, thank you. I'm so glad. Everybody had an amazing time. The vibes were good. Everybody was drinking, loving each other, laughing, having literally celebrating life. I decided to call it La Belle Vie, get a little French near, which means the beautiful life or the pretty life, the good life or whatever. And I think I want to start curating them like every other month, and it could be something that we all come to.
Have them
Maybe
in Newark.
Each of you guys could host. Yes, in Newark. I'm going to keep it in Jersey.
Have them, yes.
Stop it,
Keep in
sis.
Jersey.
You can make it such exactly. Thank you.
That walking down the street from my apartment was the best.
No,
weekend
literally,
of my
it takes her
life.
like 3.5 minutes to get home.
Nigga, what?
Yes.
3.5.
2.5.
2:15. 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Last
took
time I
me.
was in Newark, me and Deani saw a very interesting thing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm scarred.
it happens. But when you're in the four walls of Ainsworth, shout out to Ainsworth, in the Hotel Indigo. Yes, and you know how Deani feels about wings. But shout out to Ainsworth. I planned this party in 5 days, and about 200 people showed me love last minute. Beautiful black ass people, which is all I cared about having.
Yes.
Everybody else is
people,
yes,
everybody else.
yes, y'all could come too. But I just wanted that, and I'm so glad I had it.
All she cared about was black
Celebrate
people.
life, y'all.
Shout out
That's
to the
all I
rest of
wanted.
y'all, though.
That's all I wanted.
All right.
So much has been happening in the
World.
media. Media. The government shut down, so there's that.
Well,
but we're not
That
even
ain't
gonna get to
media, child.
Jesus Christ.
that. So you
all
want to
right.
bring up your quote, Rebecca?
It's a very strong start.
Yes, let's do it.
We've been chilling.
We've been really
We've been gliding. We've been
these
gliding.
past 30 fucking minutes.
Okay.
Too much glide.
We've been.
I'm
ice
just
skating.
gonna say it, but this is for it to be dissected.
She dried a full room of black men the other day. Shout out to Black Boy Joy.
Shout out to Black Boy Joy.
She said this quote
amazing
front of-
event,
in
by the
front
way.
of-
45. Wait, maybe 60 black men.
60 black men.
And
in
me and
front of
Gianni.
them. Me and
Scotty,
Gia just
Alicia.
looked at each other like, and here it is.
Here it is.
Here it starts.
Rebecca
Because I thought my
Francis.
question was going to shake the table a little bit.
She broke
Rebecca
the
said,
table.
bitch, no, right across the hall. No, bitch, watch this. And pulled out that quote. Go ahead, Rebecca, take it away.
I just felt like it was
Tell the audience what you guys are talking about, because
Oh.
I don't think they heard you.
Oh.
So
Gia.
Avery Green hosted a panel called
I
Dash.
hosted the panel. They created the panel.
He created a panel, and Gia Pepperton hosted the panel.
If you don't.
Sit your black ass down.
Sorry, bitch. The bundles got me ready. Okay.
Actually,
Correcting.
you should do it because you're the one who's involved with it,
Sure.
everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not with this
So-
voice, though. Don't do it with this voice.
Yeah. It's very, very TV.
So my friend Alize Beal, who's now married and has a different last name, but Alize, who works for Big Brothers Big Sisters, really partnered with our
Garcia.
friend.
I think it's Garcia.
It is Garcia. You know things.
No, I know
Avery
Alize.
to come and do this incredible event with his group. This is Black Boy Joy, and so he should keep these panels going. But basically, he brought together, like, you know how we always have panels for Black women and Black empowerment. But this is the first time that I ever saw a room full of Black men and like sprinkled women just to come together to have a conversation about everything from spirituality to career to mentorship and to just staying like open as a Black male community. So it was really dope. She had an incredible panel of guys who were vulnerable, and people were able to do Q&As and everything. And it was called Dignity and Pride, and I hosted it. They wanted, a little bit of Black girl magic with the Black boy joy, and it was a good time. And then Rebecca brought a questiones. Well, more of a statement.
Questiones.
And why don't you read?
No,
for
because I
this?
just
was
felt
a
like
question.
sometimes you go to panels and it's like you go there to be fed something.
Right.
Like I want to hear something I can carry with me after this and just feel like empowered or motivated or inspired. And I'm just like, they're having conversations, but this is conversations you could read in a textbook. I mean, let me not devalue what they said.
They
Just for
needed
me,
it.
I wasn't like,
moved.
I wasn't moved.
Yeah.
Somebody else in the room probably was, and that's a-okay. I'm sure that's they got the message that was supposed to be delivered to them. But I wanted to really get to like the nitty-gritty of their perspectives on things, like how, like really being pressed to define what certain things meant. And Diani had a question. It was like, how do you define vulnerability? Which I thought was really good, and like they skirted over it kind of like they gave examples. Is it that they gave examples?
I don't think
of
they knew how to.
Yeah.
They didn't know what vulnerability was. I don't think they just couldn't define it.
Right,
And
yeah.
that's what I wanted them to do, because they kept throwing it around so
Right.
much that I was like, what does that look like for y'all? Because when you guys put it into sentences that I don't understand, like, when a man shows you that he's vulnerable, I'm like, but what is that? What is that? How do you show me that? Define that. So that's why I had to ask that question. But when they did answer, it just was like, just really basic. Like, I guess, hey, if you look here, it says on, Webster.
I mean, I think
That
they
it
did their
doesn't.
best.
I mean,
I don't think vulnerability is an easy thing to.
yeah, but don't put it on. Then don't tell us that we're supposed to ask a certain type of way when we don't know what that looks like. Hey, you need to be this when we show you this. Well, what is this? What is that? What is the vulnerability? What are we looking for?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the question that I had for them.
And I remember.
And
the
I
home
don't.
guy.
Yeah. So then then Rebecca came with the
Shut
whole
up.
bitch.
You guys just stop
tote
setting it
guns.
up
You
like
tote
that.
knives, bitch.
So
Go
then
ahead.
I said,
Wow.
You
50
should have
of 'em.
heard
I said
Rebecca's voice.
The failure of black men to define black manhood has allowed black feminism to define it for us. Or for them, I should say. I kind of tailored it. And I don't even think it's really specifically black female, black men, black feminism. I just think it's men, female, feminism, and the definitions of. I don't want to like start this conversation off where it's like already cloaked in blackness. Like,
can you say the quote one more time?
So the failure of, maybe I'll do it like this. The failure of men to define manhood has allowed feminism to define it for them. Okay. So I said, first, do they have any issues with that quote? What are they? Mm-hmm. And then if they can then define manhood. And then they went down the panel, and a lot of them were not, they weren't stumbling over their answers. They were a little but they were definitely offended. They were offended. Even one of them was just like, and he started calling me like my sister. Like, okay, I see you, my sister. And I'm like, my nigga, my hair is short, but it's also blonde. Like, I'm not, like.
Wait, but he was calling everybody my brother too.
But the way he came at it, because I offended that panel. Oh my God. I offended that panel.
Rebecca just said,
for a fact,
offensive. I didn't know
I think they got defensive.
Like they got
offended.
But I challenged their manhood.
I think I offended the panel when I was like, y'all, black men don't even really love black women.
That was a charge statement too. For them
I think both times they were like,
they probably felt under attack.
Damn,
they did, and
but you didn't have no answers.
And I didn't get an answer from it.
Right.
Which I got an answer actually from the woman in the audience who was studying.
Oh yeah, Spellman.
Went to Spellman and was studying like all of like the nuances of shit like that, and she gave me the most clear answer about it. And it wasn't even against the men. It was in defense of the men. It was like, well, this is just what it is.
And women defined it again.
Find it again.
Exactly.
But you know what? What did they say? They said that.
The guy with the beard, the dude from Twitter, what's his name? Stewart had, I think, the most clear.
Was that the one in the suit?
No.
The glasses and sweater?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He was sitting on my left.
And when he talked about the cycle and how, like,
if you're
men can't define it because they were raised by women their whole lives. Mm-hmm. And I don't think women, again, have to define it. They have to define it because they have men to raise.
Right. And I think one of the most important parts of his conversation was when he asked the room, how many men were raised by both their parents? No, I think it was how many men were single mothers. And literally the entire room, almost the entire room raised their hand. So I think they gave an answer, but it wasn't an answer that I guess we were searching for. I think we wanted the direct nail, hit it on the head. But they can't answer it, which might just be the answer.
Can't answer it.
Right.
Which might just be the answer.
I don't know how to define manhood.
But they weren't even saying that. Even if they knew that, they weren't saying it because it challenges some part of their manhood to not know.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, it was a lot of answers that I got from that without them giving me the answers. It was like they defined it in their actions. And they didn't even know that they were doing that. But it's like, that's part of manhood. It's like, I have to be able to know. I'm not going to define it. I'm not going to do that and try. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to define it. But a lot of their actions, I could only attribute to what they would then define as manhood.
Yeah.
Nope. I totally agree.
I mean, it's so weird because it's like I would never know what it feels like to be a man. So I never try to define.
Right.
Like, I barely know what it is to be a grown-ass. I'm trying to be a grown-ass woman. It's still hard as hell.
Hello?
So, like, I can't define what that looks like for men. It's it's
really only for them.
Statement, yo. That was dope. Like when you brought that, everybody was like Matrix.
Right.
Sierra, like
as soon as we started the first, like 3 words, I said, "Oh shit."
Here we go. I couldn't see Deani. I literally was like moped over my chair to see her face. I was like, "This is Rebecca."
I said, "Oh shit, this is it.
This is it."
I didn't have to see Rebecca. I didn't see Rebecca because they were like polls, right?
Yeah.
But I think, my friend next to me had said, like, who's speaking? I said, it's Rebecca, Black Girl Podcast. I think everybody had asked a question, and that's Rebecca.
I can't tell you how many people had come up to me after to try to sway me, to try to refute my statements, or to try to passively apologize. A lot of sisters, and a lot of, but you can't, like a lot of that. And I'm like, I didn't have to do shit. I wasn't looking for that.
And then acting as if you were upset.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not.
They were saying you.
I was like, no, I pine for the male. I'm always here for y'all. Like, I always defend that. I was like, but give me something where something where I can have a footing, at least, and bridge off of it. But y'all wasn't.
They definitely were offended because she definitely did make a disclaimer that these weren't even her thoughts. So they automatically was like, nah, this is how y'all all feel. This is how y'all feel.
Because when we, like, me and Rebecca were just chilling, you know, talking, whatever, two guys come up and two guys are like, well, you know, putting their hands in the air. Oh, well, what are we talking? What is it? I was like, first of all, she's not even upset. Like, there was no.
Well, that just goes to show that the conversation is important and that it needs, those conversations need to happen more often.
And
it rattled and shook the entire room.
All the theatrics, like, all of that to make no point, just to talk to Rebecca because she had said something that might be true. Like, stop.
Well, it was thought-provoking, and I'm sure on their rides home, they were thinking about the answer. And that maybe the next time we have this event, there will probably be a better answer. So these conversations absolutely need to happen. Period, point blank.
It was so dope to have a place for Black men to, like,
Agreed.
talk.
That's why the event is amazing.
I didn't think that, like, those conversations aren't had, like, in a, like, we always have, Black women, we could go to the hair salon and have very deep conversations.
Or in a group chat.
Right. I feel like Black men don't really have those, like, open spaces. Like, the dude who said he was stuck, like, and everybody who kind of, like, came to his defense, I thought that was so dope. Like, dude just being like, dude, like, you know what to do. Like, I thought that was so dope.
No, it definitely needs to happen. A friend of mine, I was having a conversation about therapy with, and disgusted when I was like, you should consider therapy. Yeah, nah, fuck that. No, not me.
A man?
And I'm like, see, this is the problem because we have such I don't want to say we, or Black men or Black women, but there's such
the Black community.
Yeah, I guess have such a negative insight and perspective on what therapy can be. Automatically, you assume you have a mental disorder when you think fucking therapy. And I think he was offended by that because I see that there's so much potential in you to be great, but there's something holding you back that I think physically and mentally you might need to just seek therapy, and you may be as free as you need to be within a matter of time if you just even thought about going to therapy.
Yeah, I was gonna.
The thought of it just helps.
Another question, but I was like, maybe this is too deep, and I didn't want it. Like, I did want to open that book because you did talk about therapy, but I wanted to ask, like, you know, at what point? Because some people feel like you have to be damn near a mental patient in order to go to therapy, or you know, you had to have something traumatic happen for you to go to therapy. You don't even know what traumatic is. You know, we don't know the line between. Oh, that's cool and traumatic,
right?
Like, so
traumatic.
So I was gonna ask them at what point did you feel, the people that said that they needed to go to therapy, when was the breaking point? When did you say, all right, bro?
I'm almost sure it's traumatic.
Huh?
I'm almost positive it's traumatic. Something traumatic had to happen.
No, sometimes, but sometimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted them to tell them, you know, like, hey, no, one day I lost my girlfriend, and I was like, yeah, I need
therapy.
I'm losing my mind. And that was it. It could be something so small, because some people think that it needs to be something so grandiose, like it needs, and it doesn't. But I don't want to open that box.
But I also think it's as simple as them not thinking it's cool to go to therapy. I think if the conversation happens more like how Jay-Z is saying, I go to therapy, Black men might be like, Jay does it, let me consider it. I think it needs to be
really sad.
It is sad, but at least the conversation is happening for them to go. I mean, if that's what it takes, I'm all for it. Unfortunately, if that's the situation, then that's the situation. You would hope that it wouldn't be that. But if that conversation needs to happen where people could relate in hip hop, Nas speaks about it in a bar or something, or fucking Migos says they decided to go to fucking therapy, then maybe that'll help the youth and help the Black man to realize, like, okay, that it needs to happen.
Right. I mean, it was a very
safe place, definitely necessary.
I feel like
it was a great
it
place.
Wasn't like I really would have wanted to ask them those vulnerability questions, but just seeing how reserved they were.
That's why I wanted. That's why I was like,
I was like, they weren't able to. Even with yours, like, they are not, like, I feel like this is the opening of them, like, starting to open up. Like, it's like a flower starting to bloom. Like, I don't feel like they're there yet where they can be like, just the men in that room at least, that we could be like, okay, so
here,
bump that,
here,
here. Like, go off the brain with, because vulnerability is something, it's like a muscle. Like, it takes a long time to be comfortable in your skin and then be vulnerable. So I don't like, I get what you guys are saying, but I'm like, But even that black women comment was like a lot, because in the room, all the black women were like, yes, say it. But then all the black men were like, no, absolutely not. You crazy. Dudes came up to me afterwards like, sis, like the whole grab the shoulder.
I love you.
Sis, like, you know, I was like, I'm not
Get
mad.
your sister fuck out of here.
I noticed
Facts. Like, please don't touch me.
that there is very much just like an underlying current of division between black men and black women.
And
That's
I don't think it's really even our fault. I think it's all the narrative circulating around us above, like homeboy with the 3-piece said. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not even us. It's just that we subscribe to all these narratives
Absolutely.
about us, and
Yeah.
it's
Which
like
is-
that's really not the case.
Agreed.
Y'all.
But I do want to. I feel like the next panel, they should have 3 black men and 3 black women talk about it, like, openly, because I think
Ooh, child,
that
that's gonna be a
that would be
long discussion.
war.
We're gonna be there all night.
I mean, that would be
it
a war,
needs
but
to
I think it's
happen.
something that's good to happen, because the thing that I noticed from that room, just from the way I said it, the women felt me. A lot of the women in the room felt me. The dudes didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I'm like, if the women feel that so strongly, it's dismissive of you to say, that's not true. You need to hear.
But to their perspective, they're like, that's not true though.
But if I feel, and all the women in the room, a lot of the women in the room felt so like I just preached a sermon, like, oh sis, yes. Then something needs to
There's
be
something that
like,
needs to be
say
discussed.
something. Don't
why?
say, right? Why do you feel that way? So let's talk. Okay, so I don't mean that doesn't mean anything when whatever. Like when I make it and marry a white woman, it's not that I don't love black women. It's just this white woman understands me. Like we gotta talk. Like let's talk. Like, and again, it's not every case. It's not across the board. Not every black man. Shout out to Jameer. Doesn't like black women.
But
And shout out to the men that do. But I think it's a
But
good
a lot of
conversation.
black men don't even like to talk, which is the initial. That's the root of the problem. Like they
think
don't
men.
even. Yes, but I think it's more black men. They feel like once they speak and they're vulnerable, they're transparent, and then they lose their manhood. They lose their macho, and that's why. And they're seen to be beating on the chest. You're supposed to be my protector. You're supposed to be this facade of a strong black man. And once you're open and you're vulnerable, they feel like they lose that. And I think that's that for my personal opinion, where I think that's the root of the issue. That we have to. Us have to realize that being transparent and vulnerable doesn't make you less of a man or a woman at all.
Amen.
There's nothing wrong with being transparent and vulnerable.
Speaking of transparency and vulnerability, there have been a lot of people being super honest about their latest sexual encounters, if you will. And a lot of people have been talking about sexual harassment, what that means. And the Aziz story has ruffled some feathers. I don't know, Bex, if you
finally,
could
tell. I like that I did. I like that it did.
Tell
tell
the
us what
story. Yeah,
happened.
tell us briefly.
I don't. Y'all help me out because I don't know all the
Yeah.
pieces. I really heard the full story from beginning to end only one time.
Yeah.
But they were at a celebrity or a industry event.
Aziz
She-
Ansari.
Aziz Ansari and the woman, and she was a plus one of someone else who attended the event. They ended up linking, exchanging numbers. I'm not quite sure if it was the same night they went out or they.
I think it was later. Like,
Probably later that night. I
yeah.
think they went to dinner and was it dinner?
I didn't read the story. I,
I
told
think
you
they
I
went-
need y'all to
they
tell
went
me
out.
the
went out.
story.
They went
They went out.
because they went back to the apartment.
Then they went back to his apartment,
His apartment.
and they exchanged oral sex with each other, and she at some point started to feel uncomfortable because he was gesturing or insinuating that they should continue and move forward and have actual intercourse, and she was like giving him nonverbal cues that she didn't want that, but he kept trying for it, and
They ended up having sex.
They ended up
Verbally
having
trying
sex.
them. Trying-
Oh, they actually had
trying
sex.
for
Did
it.
they?
I believe they had sex. She
We
felt.
gotta look that up.
Either way, moving forward, the next day they we'll fact check that for you guys in a second.
Yes.
The next day he texted her and was like, "I'm sorry if anything was made to be uncomfortable for you or not. I wasn't trying to do that." And I think this has to be months later now. She wrote a long entry on this website, Babe, and she was basically trying to out him as sexually harassing her. So that's
Yeah.
the story on that. And I think where a lot of people are just confused is like, is it really sexual harassment?
If you could leave.
I
Is
think
that situation sexual harassment?
I think the moment she felt uncomfortable and she felt like a no was in the air, she should have left. That's my personal opinion. Period, point blank.
Yep.
I myself have been in a situation where I put myself there. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I was being harassed. And I got the fuck up and left. Didn't know how I was getting home. I walked out and I left. Period, point blank. Because if I would have stayed, then I would have given myself the, well, maybe I should do this so he won't hurt me. Or maybe I should do this. Maybe I'm tripping because I'm being too. Leave the moment you feel uncomfortable.
I think
Period, point blank.
The thing that's weird for me is that they shared something that's intimate as it is. And I'm not.
Right.
I hope I'm not offending anyone in podcast sphere as I say this, but they already shared something that was intimate, so it's kind of like a thin line. Like you guys technically had sex, you just didn't have sexual intercourse, so it's just really weird.
What's the thin line part of it?
Why are you saying that it's sexual harassment?
If it was consensual
At one point,
and that's possible though. It's possible for the narrative to change in the moment. Absolutely. Been there, done that as well.
Where you can you'll allow somebody to give you head.
We can get to a point where I might start to feel like this is not something I want to do. Or he can. It's the same. I know I have male friends who have been in positions where they felt like I'm not comfortable in this situation. Before things get worse and the lines could get blurred. Let's please remove ourselves from the situation. Either you leave or I leave or somebody has to come and separate us. That's real shit. The narrative can change. It can change in the moment. And whoever it's coming from, it just needs to be respected. Yeah. Period, point blank.
And properly expressed. Because this whole like social cues or body language stuff, like to a degree, like if you're pushing someone off of you, obviously that's an absolute no. Like that's obvious. There's no debate about it. But what she was saying, like she even said to him, like, I don't feel comfortable right now. And he said, if it's not comfortable for you, it's not comfortable for us. And he like fell back.
She should have left.
And she was doing all these other things. And she was like, he wasn't taking on to my cues. Like, what if he's not taking on to your cues? It's not working. Either you do a better cue or you leave.
That's
like that. The ball is in your court. What is the problem?
That's where it's black and white for me. There's no gray at all. The line is not that thin.
It was just weird. I mean, a lot of people, it's causing controversy because a lot of people feel like it's taking away from the women who have actually been sexually harassed, who've actually been raped,
Absolutely.
who've actually been like, and now it makes Aziz have this new voice of all of a sudden he's the victim. Like men are now caping for Aziz, and it's like,
but in the wrong way,
right? And it's like, taking a step back as to everything that we just kind of opened up for the Me Too movement anyway. So it's like,
but that's gonna happen because everybody's gonna want to speak when they feel like the moment is for them as well. So we just have to filter on what's the bullshit and what's not.
It sounds like a bad date night. Like a date night,
right? And she should have went home once it was awkward. And this is, and I hope we're not offending anybody, but just go home, like. And regroup and see if maybe there was a situation where you might have led him on yourself, because that's also possible too. I'm sure you're giving
accountability that's not being discussed.
Absolutely.
Say what you said about the Schultz. What he said on that other point?
Podcast
about what specifically?
You said like women don't need to be babysat or like that.
Yeah, it basically just goes back to what we just said. How like when are we gonna stop practically babysitting like woman for woman? Like you are an adult, you are a cognizant adult, you are a present adult that can make decisions for themselves. Like where's the problem here? Like why are we
acting
caping for listen, you can't blanket sexual harassment and be like, this is the resolve to it, this is the absolute like resolve and conclusion to it. Every single circumstance is exactly that, its own particular circumstance. There are nuances involved in every single one of these cases, but specifically for what happened with Aziz Ansari, Andrew Sauce was like, when are we going to stop letting women like play the victim when it's just convenient?
And it's really weird because I mean, I guess it speaks to what you just said, Gia. It's like we have a movement that's like, accept us, we want to be this, we want to be brave, we want to be strong, but then we also have, for lack of saying, 5% women who are like, I'm the victim, this is me, woe is me. It's crazy.
It sucks.
I think because that is happening, and that is the leading narrative in regards to sexual harassment and misconduct and inappropriateness. Is like, we have to be careful that we're not just being like, yeah, okay, that's it, and moving on and like doing all these headlines and write up like op pieces about this shit. Like, it has to be very particular,
right?
And not like, you're never gonna, because it really, the answer to this is between the two people that it involves. That's it,
right?
That's it. Like,
I don't want to take away anybody's feeling that they have. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to shit on this woman for lack of better words. And if she did feel, you know, this deeply to make it a public story, then I'm sorry that she had to go through those feelings. But again, it just seems like it was a bad date. Like, it just, I don't know.
She was hopeful. He was a celebrity. He has clout. He has power. She was hopeful that maybe this night might turn into several other nights. It might turn into a relationship. It might turn into, and they brought up this whole thing about like, Aziz should have recognized that he had the power in the situation because of his celebrity. She knew who he was before he knew who she was. And it's like, that's not, yes, to an extent, because when it comes to sex, it's really about power. It's really about power. When it comes to like sexual harassment and misconduct, it's really about power. So I do understand that in his celebrity, there is power in his celebrity. But she also, in her wanting him the way she wanted, is because she acknowledged that he had celebrity and she wanted that part of the lifestyle, perhaps. Because nothing about this, it was like, he was such a sweet guy, and it's I knew you before I actually knew you or met you. It's something in like,
and that's why I say the part about her saying, you know, you guys saying like she should have left. She should have left. Probably she didn't want to leave because she didn't want to be blackmailed or have Aziz upset with her. So to keep from doing that, you say, all right, let me just stay here and figure it out, because you don't want to leave and think that he's, you know. That he's upset that you left in a rage and left.
You don't want to leave and just
him.
lose your chances.
Right.
That's essentially it. She's trying to bank.
That's what I think that that happens with a lot of people. Like a lot of, you know, you just don't want them to be upset. So you'll say, you know, I'll just sit here.
That happens with regular people.
Right. I'm saying
100%.
100%. But it's 10 times when it's Aziz Ansari and he's a big ass comedian, and you might want to reap the benefits of whatever might happen. I mean, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. But at that moment, you're like, damn, I am a photographer. I do want to get into certain things. And if this happens, and if he hears, you know, he figures out, you know, damn, she don't want to fuck me, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck that bitch. Cool. She won't be at any event ever again.
So
that's what I'm just saying. That's you know, I don't know. I'm really a hypocrite when it comes to like everything. Like, I get both sides. I understand, but I also stand so strongly on sexual harassment and how wrong it is that I'm just so afraid to even speak against this shit because I'm so afraid that somebody is going to be scared not to speak out.
Say anything, right?
That's my fear. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, because we're telling this girl, you know, people are telling this girl, this is not sexual harassment, blah, blah, blah. I know there's tons of women that have actually been sexually harassed. It's probably like, damn, maybe mine wasn't sexual harassment. Maybe I shouldn't speak out because I don't want them to go at me like this and then they make him the victim. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just weird. It is a story that, to me, in my opinion, that is just, I don't see it as sexual harassment, but I don't even know anymore. Right. I can't even tell you what the guidelines are for sexual harassment anymore. I don't know.
I guess it's what makes you feel uncomfortable, and be honest with yourself about that. If you're not comfortable where you're at or what your interactions are, excuse yourself. Be present. Like, you have to work on that to know what makes you feel
sexual harassment is being uncomfortable.
I would say if we have to boil it down to what's possibly universally true across the board, what makes you uncomfortable?
And then she would be in the right. She said that she was uncomfortable.
See, part of this for me is where intent and choice come into play for both parties. Like, what was her intention going? Was it to
even if the intention the intention too, even with the intention, there's tons of groupies that intend on having fucking, I guess, Nelly fuck it off and fuck it in, whatever. The thing is,
and fuck on you,
right? Fuck on you. But the moment she decides, hey, I'm done fucking, or I don't want to fuck, and he continues, That's it.
Well, absolutely, but where I'm going with intent and choice is, even for him, whatever his intent was, whatever, we don't know, we'll never know. But then he also has the choice to say, okay, so I'm gonna remove. He could leave as well. I'm gonna remove myself from the situation, and I'm going to let someone else know that, hey, there's some. Was it a hotel or was it his apartment?
His apartment.
Apartment's a little different, but even still, remove yourself from the situation. Like, you don't have to stay there. You can just be like, I'll leave when you feel comfortable. You're getting ready to leave. And when you're ready, just let me know and go.
Some people
Sometimes
have a hard time.
You gotta, or you gotta do.
Probably didn't even see it as sexual harassment. He just saw it as a bad date night or whatever it is that he, whatever it was.
But it had to be awkward enough for you to be uncomfortable. Like, you're not just some regular nigga. Like, you know she could possibly leave here and be like, this nigga raped me. He knows that. He has to know that.
Sometimes you don't.
There's no possible way he left that situation because, and the reason why I don't believe that is because he texted the next day and said, hey, I hope that wasn't weird yesterday. I hope I didn't offend you. So he knew something was wrong. So you should have removed yourself from the situation as well.
Or told her to leave.
Or told her to leave. And but
so
that is like, that's just real shit.
There's just so many.
That's just real shit.
Sides.
And if you feel uncomfortable and you're nervous and you think she might do something, protect yourself as well. Just be like, hey, I don't know who you can tell as a celebrity. I don't know how that works for them, but you got to be able to tell somebody something. Hey, I had a girl here. She was uncomfortable. I asked her to leave. Document it. Find out or do something. I don't know. Some way. There's got to be some type of way to protect yourself in that situation.
I also think that many men, I may be wrong. And this is not even me caping for niggas because I don't cape for men. But my thing is, Rebecca, let me know. I don't.
The male caper.
Do you think men really know what sexual harassment is?
No.
I don't think.
What do you
I
consider
think
sexual harassment?
I don't.
Do they know? Do they know where the line
I think
is? Like, we don't know where the line is. Do they know where the line is?
I think. I don't think we could generalize men. I don't think we could generalize all men. I do believe there are men who are clear that when a woman is uncomfortable in a situation, or when they're uncomfortable in a situation, they nip that shit in the butt. Literally. Even I have a friend of mine who a girl threw herself on him. And he said, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to put your clothes on and leave before I get someone else to remove you from this situation. Because you're not about to come to me and say, because I didn't give you dick, that I raped you and you running out my room naked, and that's all you see is a naked bitch running out of my room and I'm slamming the door. Niggas are aware. Like, there are people who are aware. There's just niggas and females who just don't give a fuck. And then they'll figure it out at the end, like, oh, and when they see that it didn't go the way they wanted to go, then it's like, oh, but now I think it might have been harassment, or I don't know, it made me feel uncomfortable because he didn't really, and then that's when the lines get blurred. But there are people who clearly know
and I also
the difference.
Make this a fact too. There are women who sexual harass. That is
absolutely.
I've seen it. I've also seen women who accuse men of sexually harassing them,
and it's the other way around,
and then also sexually harass other men.
Yes,
that's not cool either.
Yeah. Yes,
we shouldn't do it at all. If they're not comfortable,
we shouldn't do what?
We shouldn't do anything. I'm at the point now
it's a boring
where
life.
I can't. No, I'm at the point where I'm not saying, oh, you look bad as shit, like you cute. Like, I'm not telling a nigga that. I'm not doing any of that. I'm also not being handsy, you know what I'm saying? Like, flirtatious with the touching, because I also know how that goes. Yes. I'm not doing any of that because I see, had it been done to me, I'm not fucking with it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I've become like a hypocrite sometimes when I'm listening to like some of these podcasts. And there's like, we're talking about the things that men do, but then we don't talk about the things that women do.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
There's accountability in that as well. I honestly feel like,
no,
don't shoot me, women in the workplace might do a little more sexual harassment than men in terms of like touchy-feely. Hey, baby, how you doing, sugar? Look at you. You looking good. There's a lot of that in the workplace with women, with women amongst men in the workplace. Men don't physically really touch you. They might say something.
No.
They might say something offensive.
No.
They might say something that will come off some type of way, but I think women in the workplace do a lot more touchy-feely than men do.
I don't think that, only because historically, like in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, when women first started coming to the workplace, it wasn't even a problem. Like, men openly would grab your ass and
but
be
that's
like
also
secretaries
then.
were known.
That's also now.
I never
Are
said.
you crazy?
I'm not saying that it doesn't
those
exist
kids were
now.
20 and now they're 60 running businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to take time for in the workplace, in every aspect of our life.
For sure.
But I think these conversations are healthy. Like, we have to talk, and you gotta be on the same page with the person. Like, there's an app now. You can sign a legal document saying that we are both consenting.
I'm saying what I tell y'all. I told my brother when he went to college.
Yep.
Pull that phone out. Yo, we having sex. Are you cool with us having sex? Yes, cool, good. That's all I need.
But see,
Bomb.
this is where the line gets crazy for me, because it's like, okay, so what if it changed in that moment and I did not want to have sex? So when I'm signing another consent form that says to me, I didn't, at 2:45 a.m., I decided to change my mind, and now I didn't.
He can cover.
Yeah, but
if he can't cover,
right.
whatever in the middle,
but
cool.
it's also for him as well. When does he say at 2:45, I no longer wanted to have sex with her? What sheet is he signing for that? Because
he can't. But I'm saying cover it. What I'm saying is cover what you can.
When you go to court, you have that document.
I'm not gonna tell him not to do it because in the middle she might decide not to and whatever. Yes, that might be true and that might happen. What I'm saying is cover what you can, get what you can, just so that just in case some shit pop off and it's not true, you can have that. Now I don't have nothing else. If she lies about what happened in the middle, we gonna have to figure that out and see you in jail or wherever the fuck it is, unfortunately. But my thing is like, I need you to be some kind of safe.
And that's
there's a girl that sent my brother where's my over there a condom under the door with a post-it that said "See you later."
Yep.
He don't even know who the fuck it's from. It's just girls that's just coming just to. If we got a condom under our door that said with a post-it note, "See you later." Do you know how fucking scary that is? Number one. I'd be like, who the fuck does that? Yeah. He doesn't even know who does it. And unfortunately, he thinks, it's like, girls be wanting to fuck me, whatever, cool. It's not. That's not okay.
Gotta protect yourself.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah. It goes both ways. I mean, I wish we had more time to talk about this, but
we don't.
I think that I think all of our listeners, like, maybe you guys can help us, tell us how you feel. How do you define sexual harassment? Where's the line for you? Like, even if you don't want to say it on Twitter, DM us, hit us up.
Right.
Because we definitely want to keep this conversation going.
Heavy.
This is it for the top
but
of
it's
the
real
year.
shit. It's real shit.
But we'll be back in a minute.
And then later we'll discuss, are you black or are you a woman first? I would just love to talk to you guys about that because I've been toying with it since I text y'all in the group chat. I've been really trying to figure it out. But we'll talk about that, I guess, next group chat. Next podcast. Yeah. Because that's very important.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a really good
So pose the question, and then maybe on the next episode we'll gather in the feedback that we got.
Black women.
Hey.
Are you black or a woman first? What is first?
Crazy. And we'll talk about it the next time.
We'll talk about it
on Black Girl Pod.
What's first?
Might not be an easy answer.
I'm saying black.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.